I love it! We have a killer show for you today because it's for the best chefs in the world. This show is dedicated to all the moms out there. Give it up for that. We know nothing is like a mom's pinch, a mom's hand. I moved to Connecticut from Seattle to go to college. Knew nobody. For the first 6 months, I mean, I was bummed, right? I was kind of meeting friends, kind of not. Finally met a friend named Christian Malerba. Christian, if you're watching, I love you. And he invited me to his house. They're Italian-American. And his mom made just these meatballs with something called polenta. At the time, I was 18. I didn't know what polenta was, but hey, it's going down the hatch. I don't care. And I sat around this table with this beautiful family made by this mom, and it was just like, it was like a hug, you know? And I didn't know any of them, but when you eat mom's cooking, it feels warm, it feels comforting. So we're gonna try and recreate my buddy Snoop's mom's meatballs and polenta. Here we go. We started with a ton of ground lamb, and when you buy ground lamb, look for local ground lamb. 9 out of 10 ranchers here in America are family ranchers. These are small family farms, so we have to support them. It's the backbone of our economy. Absolutely. So we've got our ground lamb in here. I've got some onions and garlic in my KitchenAid food chopper, and you just kind of blitz that up. And I want this pretty small. I love it. I always take the blade out, and it's always hard, I find, to like chop it that good, even if you're a chef. So you really want to take it down. So we kind of go in there. In the beginning, it's the usual suspects. Parmesan. I just got chills. Parmesan. All day Parmesan. Just some good old-fashioned parsley, basil, any fresh herbs that you have. Couple of eggs, that's just gonna bind the whole thing. Same thing with some breadcrumbs, right? Just like enough to kind of hold it together. But one of the things I'm loving doing is, and I know for a lot of people, they love meat, they want to incorporate it into their diet, but they also want more vegetables. So a really nice thing to do is to fold in some lentils. And for a lot of you, you just don't even taste it, and it complements the lamb really beautifully. So that goes in, and then you gotta just roll up your sleeves, and you gotta get in there, right? And you just kind of bring it all together. And it's really, really nice. So I'm gonna add some olive oil to this pan. And I'm just gonna kind of take some ice cream scoops, and I kind of start at 12 o'clock. And if they fall apart a little bit, that's okay. You just kind of pack them in a little bit tighter and kind of go around the clock. That way you know which one went first. And you just kind of sear them. And speaking of homemade pasta sauce, what I learned from Snoop's family is that this is called sauce. And the second you add meat to it, it's called gravy. I didn't know that. Again, I was 18. I'm like, what is this? I don't know. Put it in my mouth. It's great. So this is just a little bit of sauce at this point. This is like tomatoes, a little bit of basil, a couple of things that you never have seen before, or maybe you have. One is taking the rind of Parmesan and putting that into your sauce, tucking that into bed. This gives it this really rich, kind of deep umami flavor. You can't put your finger on it. It's what moms do. It's these little touches where you're like, what's in there? And they put a freaking Parmesan rind in there. So it's unbelievable. Now this one, maybe you've seen this and maybe you've seen the lentil trick before, but I'll tell you one that you've never seen before is the stems of tomatoes. Stems of tomatoes, if you smell them, they smell like tomatoes, but they smell like fresh tomatoes out of the garden. So if you plop those in as well, and we won't eat that, right? But they just kind of infuse the sauce, and it is delicioso, if I say so myself, which is a great tip. So I've got the sauce simmering away. I've got our meatballs kind of browning, and we have a couple of lamb ranchers, a mom-daughter duo. Give it up for Andre and Bianca. I love that it's a mom-daughter situation. Now, you guys are coming from Central California, and you guys have like 5,000 sheep?
Yes, we have Talbot Sheep Company and Star Creek Land Stewards. Talbot Sheep Company is focused on meat and wool, and Star Creek Land Stewards is focused on fire prevention grazing with livestock, sheep and goats that we send around mostly the Bay Area of California for fire prevention.
How, can we just talk about that for a sec? Yeah, give it up for that.
Go ahead.
So just so I'm clear, because I've never heard of this, your sheep are firefighters? They're helping prevent forest fires?
That's right.
Okay, I thought that was Smokey the Bear.
So we bring our livestock into mostly urban spaces, but also out in forests and whatnot. And the idea is that they graze down fire fuels, which is, grass or bushes or dead or low-hanging trees and stuff. And so that if a fire were to come, whether a man-made one, a giant wildfire, there's nothing for that fire to burn. So ideally, we're having less intense wildfires, which are safer for everybody, but also safer for firefighters to do their job. Or sometimes the grazing actually stops the fire because there's nothing for that fire to burn.
That is rad.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's incredible. They're like the ultimate sidekick. I love it. Yeah. Now, for you guys, when you talk to people and you say that you're lamb ranchers, do you guys feel like there's a misunderstanding about lamb here in America, a part of like eating it, like bringing it to the table? Because I feel like when I talk to my friends and buddies, there's not enough lamb being eaten in this country. You agree?
Agreed.
For sure.
What is that?
I don't know. I think years ago, I think people had a bad taste in their mouth, maybe a generation before us.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult to bring that back, but it's becoming more and more accessible. It's important to us that you buy American lamb.
Yes.
And it's fresher, and it's coming right from our farms here in the United States, mostly from the western states in the U.S. So,
guys,
bring it home.
Bring it home. Buy and eat more lamb. Done. Full stop. Thank you. All right, at this point, I got a couple of meatballs in there already, but once they're brown, they don't have to be cooked through. You put your lamb meatballs right into now the gravy. And then at this point, you let these just cook away. And this is like the mom smell. This is when you walk, right? I mean, just walk that through. You walk in and you feel welcome in any household if you've got some meatballs and some gravy going on. So we've got some that have been simmering away here. And you can see the stem is in here, so you kind of fish that out. That's done, did its job. And I told you guys, when they served this up to me, it was crazy. They served it with polenta. Since I've grown to love polenta, it's like a yellow grits. So they took this big pot of polenta, they added just a little bit of cream at the very end to loosen it and to enrich it, and you kind of marble that cream through. It's hard to tell, but it's so unctuous and creamy. It's really like mac and cheese, right? There you go. That's what mom would do? There comes the hand. Yeah. See, this is why I love live TV. We're just like you, people. All right? This is not Martha Stewart's kitchen. All right, and then we kind of just hold this polenta back, and if it's a mess, it's a mess, but you kind of want to pick it up, and you just start on one end, and you just kind of drag it. And then the grandma, I remember, came in and she started to kind of pull it around like this. And she kind of made this big divot. Isn't this just, I'm just gonna use the word, this is sexy. This is what it is. She's just made this bed, and then you come over and you just kind of take those meatballs that have just been falling apart in this kind of ragu, and you just scatter the lamb everywhere, right? And everyone tucks around. This is when everyone's coming to the table, wine's being poured. Bad stories stop for a minute, but they'll resume soon. And you can't really mess up how this hits the table. You just have to kind of find an opening, grab a little gravy, grab a little bit of meatballs, and make it happen. And then once you kind of have little pockets like this, the fun doesn't stop. That's where they kind of welcome you, and then they just let it rain Parmesan.
Wow.
Everywhere. Right? Should I keep going?
Yes.
There we go. And then a little bit of more fresh basil. Look how gorgeous this looks. And then just a drizzle of olive oil, just over the top. I am no mom. I see moms, they are a lot stronger than me, and they can make food taste a lot better than me, but that is the closest I can get, and I can tell you, it's pretty darn good. You'll love that. So all season long, we've been asking you guys how you cook at home, and for this episode, we want to know what your moms have made, so watch this.
Hey Joel, I'm Alex from the blog and Instagram page Daisy Beat. Today I want to share my tomato, basil, mozzarella bruschetta recipe with you. This recipe holds a special place in my heart because it reminds me of summertime with my family. My mom has been making this recipe every summer for as long as I can remember, and everybody always loves it. It's really simple and easy to make, and I promise that you won't be able to eat just one of these. So you'll start by making crostini, which is just sliced French bread with a little olive oil on it, toasted in the oven. Then you just add your layers of pesto, fresh mozzarella, fresh tomato, and basil. Serve with some crunchy sea salt and freshly cracked pepper. I hope you try these and you love them as much as I do.
We're back. We are celebrating moms everywhere, and we have a power mom in the house, the founder of Ambitious Kitchen. She came out with her next cookbook, which is so exciting. Give it up for Monique Volz. Come on. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Monique has like millions. I mean, like, it's unbelievable the amount of views and your community that follows you. People are just drawn to you. And she's got 3 kids under 4?
Yes.
So everyone's like, I mean, oh my God. Okay, so let's just start at the top. What started Ambitious Kitchen?
So I actually started Ambitious Kitchen when I was in college. I was only 21 years old.
Whoa.
And my father had passed away 2 days before I went to college. So I was in a really dark place.
Yeah.
And I wanted to create a safe place for myself to really be able to just share stories and reconnect to him. So
That's beautiful. It takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of courage to go on there. And people don't realize the reason why people like yourself build communities around yourself is because you're real.
Yeah.
And because you're willing to put yourself out there, and we're able to connect with you and see ourselves through you. And again, it's not just moms, I mean, it's people, but there's a lot of moms, and you're one of them, who are just courageous enough to do that. So it's a big thank you to you. It's huge.
thank you.
Yeah. And I know for you, food's been a journey. Like, your food has been a journey, yes?
Yes. You know, I went through an eating disorder just trying to figure out, going through that grief of my dad and what that process looked like. And so when I created Ambitious Kitchen, it was really about rediscovering food again as a source of joy and connection and thinking about it in a different way than I had before.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
I can tell you guys, as a chef, I've really struggled with my weight. I have other health issues that I've really dealt with. And just this past year, it feels like I'm also in this rediscovery phase. And I think we all have a relationship with food, and you go through these ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're kind of in the pocket and everything's fine. Other times you're trying to kind of figure it out. And so, again, we can all relate to that, but it just takes a true woman to stand up and say that, like, I've been there, I've done that. All right, so I know we've got some Puerto Rican background. We're gonna make a pozole. Oh my God. So for our next bite, it's Monique's Knock Your Socks Off pozole. Let's get to it. All right.
So we're gonna start out with putting some oil into the pan.
Go for it. And it's just like a hot, big pot.
A big hot pot, a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
And then we've got some veggies over here,
Yeah.
some onion, bell pepper, garlic. So we're gonna throw those in.
Okay.
Get those cooking up.
Is that not just the sound?
It's the sizzle.
That is just the sound.
It's the sizzle.
Now, this is your mom's recipe, or whose recipe is this?
My grandmother's, actually.
Oh, okay.
And it's a little bit of a shortcut version. With pozole, you're traditionally soaking the chilies, blending them. This, we're doing a little bit something different here. So.
I like how you do have a little bit of that sass. I love it. It's every once in a while it comes out. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother passed it down to my mom, who passed it down to me. And this is just something that I love to cook in the kitchen. It almost feels like a chicken tortilla soup and pozole had a baby.
Yes.
Which I really like.
Yeah, if
It's
anyone
very
doesn't
cozy.
know what pozole is, it really is like the chicken noodle soup of Latin America. Like,
it is.
It has, it's the base of it is this hominy, which is corn treated with lime, right?
Yes, and it's very chewy, and I just love the texture of it. But it feels like home for me. So
I love it. All right, so onions and peppers have had a minute.
Cook them down a little bit. We're gonna add in some spices.
Okay, what do we got?
So we've got some cumin, some oregano in here, and we've got some salt.
Okay.
Throw that in.
Cool.
So we've got that cooking down, and then we're gonna add in some fire roasted tomatoes.
This is a genius cheat.
It's just a little bit more flavor.
Well, yeah, you can see these tomatoes, they have like little black specks in them. These are fire roasted. You can find them in the can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anywhere. And it gives you that campfire smoky feel.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does. And yeah, it just adds another element to this dish that feels like a shortcut.
All right.
So now it gets a little bit fun.
Okay.
So we're gonna add some chicken
I
broth
was having
in.
fun before, but yeah.
I'm having fun.
Okay, chicken
It's
broth
a little
in.
bit more exciting. Chicken broth in, and then we're gonna add our chicken right in.
Just plop?
Just plop it in
I like
there.
it. Yeah, nothing sounds more appetizing than just plop.
Just
okay,
plop.
great.
But no, another little shortcut, here we go again,
Yeah.
is just cooking the chicken right in the broth.
Yeah.
It's going to infuse it with flavor. You don't have to use another dish to cook the chicken, though you could if you wanted to sear it first and then shred it. And then we're also gonna add the hominy.
Yeah, so good. And you can find this canned, you can find it dried, just like a chickpea. Like you can find canned chickpea dried, you can find dried hominy as well. This looks good already. I'll say one tip, I wanna know if you agree with this. A lot of people, when they make chilies or soups, they salt and pepper now. I don't know where at camp you sit in. I'm like, wait till the end.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you salt and this reduces down, it becomes too salty.
Yep.
So for soups and sauces, always season at the end.
It also depends on, what canned tomatoes you're using.
Totally.
If your hominy is
That's what I'm
salted
saying.
or
You don't
not.
really know until you can taste it.
Yeah.
And you can't taste chicken sashimi, so don't do that. All right, so we'll put that over here. This is one that's been cooking for, you said, about 30 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, this
About
tip
30
is
minutes.
really cool. Okay, what do we do now?
Anytime you've cooked your chicken or your meat in a slow cooker or a pot, it's got a lot of liquid.
Yes.
What I like to do is you can use a slotted spoon or tongs, take it out and put it onto a sheet pan. That's going to help catch all of the juices
Yes.
when you shred it with
Yes.
2 forks. This is nice because it contains everything.
So can I just ask you, what is your life like now with 3 kids under, like that's not, like I have 2 kids under 5,
nuts.
and I'm like, I don't know how I'm here. So do you, am I right?
We're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just.
We actually have someone holding us up from behind. We're like puppets right now. Yeah. All right, so we're shredding the chicken. And you're just kind of breaking it down. So as you're shredding that, I'll work on this. We've got some white beans here, and what are we doing with this?
We are going to blend them with these chipotles.
Okay, and why, like?
So what I like to do to add a little bit more nutrition to my recipes, especially soups, instead of using like a cream cheese to get it creamy, I use a can of beans blended with a little bit of broth. And we're using the chipotles to kind of imitate a pozole red chili flavor. It's got a little kick of spice.
She's the shortcut queen. Like this is like everything I want. Love it. Look at that color. It's beautiful. Okay, so then just look at, smell that. That smells crazy. It smells like a campfire.
Very yummy.
Just white beans and chipotle.
And if you want to kick it up a notch, you can add more of that chipotle chili.
Yep.
Go heavier with it, but you add it right to the pot.
And then you just stir that through. Yep.
And then we can add that chicken in there as well.
And at this point, is it basically there?
It's almost there.
This is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just so quick. I love it. All right, so now we're just folding in some last little bits.
Yes, so we've got some cilantro and corn.
Yeah. I love that you're kind of adding some fresh corn to this as well. And this is when we season.
This is when we season.
This is when we season. So lots of salt. And then a little lime juice.
Yep, a little fresh squeezed lime juice.
It's
Just bring it all
amazing.
together.
And then how do you plate this puppy up?
Oh, well, I like to do it with all the toppings of your dreams. So we've got some avocado, some cabbage, jalapeno.
Bring it on over, plate us up one. And while you're doing that, we're gonna talk about your cookbook, Ambitious Kitchen, debuting. What's behind this?
Oh, my past 12 years of my life, just all folded into one. But no, it's really just a love letter to my community. It's for anybody who wants to eat a little bit better for you. All of my recipes are really infused with nutrition. You're gonna find dreamy dinners, you're gonna find nourishing breakfasts, and some indulgent treats, because you know what? What's life without cake?
Not a life I want to live. All right, so you've got some
Got a
cabbage.
little bit of everything
I
here.
love it. This looks incredible. A little bit of sour cream or yogurt
Yep.
would be amazing. Little tortilla chips.
Tortilla chips for crunch.
Every soup in the world. I'm telling you, I know, like, at this time you're gonna be watching this, might be game day. Don't do chili this year. Make Monique's pozole. You will not regret. This looks amazing.
This looks so good.
Yes!
Beautiful.
That looks amazing. Incredible. Super mom here, and we're checking in with some moms at home, but we really want to spotlight you guys in your own kitchen. This is part of our dinner series that we're calling the Sunday Dinner Series, so watch this.
When I see my children getting involved in the actual cooking aspect, it just warms my heart. We're gonna add the chicken to the pot. Take your spoon and put it in. Wow, Kelly, good job. My name's Saba Wahid Duffy. I'm owner of Kush by Saba. I'm a mom of 2, and I'm from Framingham, Massachusetts. My mom came to America after she got married, so she had never been away from her family before, not having really left Pakistan. So she just made such a beautiful life for us and herself. A family of 4, plus grandparents, plus aunts and uncles who would just pop up sometimes for dinner. The kitchen was a focal point. You ready to help me make some bread? We're gonna add some flour. Good job. Yes. Whoa, is that awesome? We're gonna put a little flour down. Put this down. See that? Nice job, baby. You're a really good roller. So my mom passed away a few weeks ago, and it was heartbreaking. She was just such a genuine and beautiful person, and I will always remember her smiling at me. The first dish that she ever taught me to make is a dish called garnishing chicken. It's fairly simple, just a few ingredients, but the way that those ingredients come together is just like a flavor bomb. So I, to this day, still make that dish and will always think about my mom when I make it. Having food as a way to bond with my children, they realize that that's something in somewhere that I spend a lot of time, so they know how important it is. I just feel so genuinely happy. Wow.
We're back celebrating all the moms out there, and our buddy Monique's in the house, and oh yeah. And we always end the show with a little bit of something to toast with. So we're gonna make a Valencia kind of espresso martini here. This is gonna be really good. I need a little caffeine. We all need a little caffeine. So this thing's amazing. This is the KitchenAid automatic espresso machine. What I love about it, so silent. So check this out. It pulls a really great shot. You just kind of tamp it down. Do you have an espresso machine at home?
No, but I clearly need one.
Yeah, exactly.
I need one.
Exactly. And you just put this in, and then do you want to just pull the shots? You could put this right here and just press that button. And just
This
like,
button?
yeah.
Okay,
Just right
great.
below.
Oh, there we go.
So it's got to be a great shot. If you're gonna make a cocktail with some espresso, it's got to be the right espresso with that right ratio of crema. So we'll show you guys what this looks like. It looks amazing. It's gonna just pull right now. Yeah, that's going. That's beautiful.
That is quiet.
Is that? Yeah.
It's very quiet.
It is very. Did you realize it was working? Yeah, exactly. And then we've got a shaker full of ice, and we're gonna do a little bit of some incredible chocolate liqueur. It's kind of like the best chocolate milk in the world. That goes in, and then you want to do another ounce of vodka right there.
All right.
Yeah, and then I've got just a simple syrup. So this just helps kind of round it. You don't need it, but a little honey would be nice. At the end of the night, are you a cocktail person, wine, or just like a cold drink? What are you?
I usually do wine.
Yeah, I love how she breathed out. I usually do wine. Yeah, I love it. All right, and then just a little bit of simple syrup, and then here's our shot. Just guys, check out this crema. Find me.
Lovely.
That's what you want, right? That's what's gonna make a gorgeous drink. So that goes in, slap on the lid. We've got a couple of martini glasses. All right, Monique, take us home. Yeah, oh, okay. I'm telling you, no one does not look cool shaking a cocktail. All right, and then that just goes right in. You can just pour one for me, one for you.
Right.
I love it. Doesn't that look great? Yeah. I mean, that is what I want every day. A really bad TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a really big blanket.
Sounds fantastic.
I love it. And then what makes this kind of Valencia and kind of gives it a little bit of citrus is just some orange bitters at the end. I totally
love
missed
orange.
the glass, but here we are. And then a little floater of those, maybe a little espresso bean if you want it. You know, I have to say right now, no one in the world deserves an espresso martini like a mom, especially this mom. Give it up for Monique. I'll say, you have the hand, all the moms do. There's something about you moms out there that just works for it. Thank you, thank you. We love you at Homemade. Thank you to all of our Homemade audience for hanging out and for all of you at home for tuning in. We will see you next time.